Hi everyone, welcome back to i-TUTOR IAS Academy Tamilnadu History NCERT series. Today we are discussing Unit 14, the spread of Indian culture in other Asian countries. Okay, so why it is important? The Indian culture spread across Asia primarily through peaceful means like maritime trade, religious mission like Buddhism, Jainism, Hinduism, and cultural exchange via merchants, monks, and scholars, leading to adoption of Indian ideas in politics and literature like Ramayana, Mahabharata, and language Sanskrit, especially in Southeast Asia, as rulers sought sophisticated system to strengthen their states. Trade and commerce, religion, cultural exchange, and Indianization, migration, etc., are the key drivers for cultural spread. So, here we will discuss further the spread of Indian culture and civilization to the other part of Asian constitutes an important chapter in the history of India. So, India had established a commercial contact with other countries from the earliest times. It had inevitably resulted in the spread of Indian language, religions, art and architecture, philosophy, beliefs, customs, and manners. So, Indian political advantages even established Hindu kingdoms in some part of Southeast Asia. However, this did not lead to any kind of colonialism or imperialism in the modern sense. So, it's just a cultural, spread. On the other hand, these colonies in the new land were free from the control of the mother country. So, but they were brought under the cultural influence. And so, first of all, we will discuss about Central Asia. So, this is a map of Central Asia countries. And Central Asia was a great center of Indian culture in the early centuries of the Christian era. Several monuments have been unearthed in the eastern part of the Afghanistan. Khotan and Kashgar remain the most important center of Indian culture. So please mark these sites, so it will help you for your map study. And several Sanskrit texts and Buddhist monasteries were found in these places. Indian culture influences continues in this region till 8th century. And Indian culture had also spread to Tibet and China through Central Asia. Okay, and next one is India and China. So all of you know the location of China, and this is China here. So here is India. So India and China relation, they are neighbors, neighbor countries, and China was influenced both by land route passing through Central Asia and the sea route through Burma. Buddhism reached China in the beginning of the 1st century AD. A number of Chinese pilgrims like Fa Huan Sang visited India. On the other side, the hundreds of Buddhist monks like Gunabhadra, Vajrabodhi, Dharmadeva, and Dharmagupta visited China. And Indian scholars translated many Sanskrit works at the request of Chinese emperors. This contact with China continued even in the 13th century when the Mongols established their empire in China. Chinese art had also been influenced by Indian art. Next is Tibet, India and Tibet. So this is a map of Tibet. You can Google it also. You will get the exact location of Tibet compared to India. So Tibet was influenced by India from the 7th century. The famous Buddhist king Kampo found the city of Lhasa and introduced Buddhism. The Tibetan alphabet was devised with the help of Indian scholars. Later, the Indian scholars helped for the establishment of Lamaism in Tibet. In the 11th century, the Pala dynasty of Bengal had close contact with Tibet. When Bengal was attacked by the Muslim rulers, many Buddhist monks sought shelter in Tibet. Next is Sri Lanka. So it's the southern part of India, Sri Lanka. And despite having different political history, Sri Lanka experienced a great cultural influence from India, especially from south part of India. Buddhist missionaries had spread not only the religious faith but also cultural traditions. The art of stone carving went to Sri Lanka from India. In the 5th century, Buddha Gosha visited Sri Lanka and consolidated their Hinayana Buddhism. The famous painting of Sigiriya, okay, it's spelling is Sigiriya, were modeled on the Ajanta painting. Okay, so this is that painting of Sigiriya. And next is Indian culture in Southeast Asia. Okay, India culture had extended its mighty influence in the Southeast Asian region, consisting of Malaya archipelago and Indochina. They are located across the Bay of Bengal. Being fertile and rich in mineral, these lands attracted the attention of Indians. Moreover, the east coast of India is studded with numerous ports, and Indians undertook frequent voyage to these lands. The ancient tradition refers to traders' voyage to Suvarna Bhumi, that is the land of gold, because there is, the location of Southeast Asia. It's a port city. Okay, a name generally given to all the countries of the East Asia. Indians began to colonize the East Asia in the Gupta period. It was further encouraged by the Pallavas. The Indian colonists established great kingdom, and some of them lasted for more than 1,000 years. A number of dynasties with the Indian names ruled in various parts until the arrival of Islam in the 15th century. Indian culture dominated this region. Next is Cambodia, also called Cambodia. Okay, map of Cambodia. Cambodia was colonized by Indians in the 1st century AD. They influenced the native people called Khmers, Khmers, Khmers. The ruling dynasty was known as Cambodia, and their country was Cambodia or modern Cambodia. Under the early rulers, Shaivism and Vaishnavism made steady progress. The Cambodia Empire at its greatest extent include Laos, Siam, part of Burma, and the Malaya Peninsula. And numerous Sanskrit inscriptions give us a detailed history of its kings, and a number of Hindu literary works like Veda, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Panini's grammar, Hindu philosophical treatises were all known to the people of Cambodia. Like the Pallava kings, they were called Varmans. Varman and Suryavarman too were two well-known rulers, and the temple were built in the South Indian style. There are plenty of Sanskrit inscriptions. The most famous of these temple was a temple ward of Vishnu built by Suryavarman II in the capital city of Angkor. It was popularly called Angkor Wat Temple. So this is a picture of Angkor Wat Temple, and it is standing on top of terraced structure, and each terrace is a sort of a covered gallery which contain numerous relief sculptures, and the temple is constructed on the Dravidian style, and the sculpture depict episodes from the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. The Cambodia kingdom declined only in 15th century. Next is Champa. Chamba or South Annam is situated to the east of Cambodia. Okay, eastern side of Cambodia. The first Hindu dynasty was established by Sri Mara in the 2nd century AD. A number of Sanskrit inscriptions throw light on the history of Champa. So this is a map of Champa, and 12 Indian dynasties ruled over Champa, and by 13th century Champa was annexed to Cambodia. Under its Hindu rulers, the Hindu religion and culture, customs and manners were introduced in Champa. Shaivism and Vaishnavism flourished. Buddhism also existed side by side. Various works on Hindu philosophy, grammar, fine arts and astrology were written. Next is Siam. Siam or Thailand. It's a tourist destination now. All of you may know the location of Thailand. So there were several states in Siam following Indian culture. Thai script was developed with the help of Indian scholars. The traditional laws of that country were composed on the model of Dharmashastras. The temples at Bangkok contain many sculptures depicting the Ramayana. So this is the map of Thailand. You can refer it from Google also. And next is Sumatra and Java. The Malaya archipelago had remained an important link between India and the Far East. So this is a map of Sumatra and Java. Several Hindu kingdoms existed here between 5th to 15th century AD, and the most important Hindu kingdom in the big island of Sumatra was Sri Vijaya. and it was great center of trade and culture in 7th century. Subsequently, the Srivijaya kingdom developed into a powerful maritime and commercial power known as Sailendra Empire, extending its sway over the neighboring island of Java, Bali, and Borneo, and over Cambodia. The Sailendra rulers were Mahayana Buddhists and maintained cordial relation with the Indian kingdoms of the Palas of Bengal and the Cholas of Tamil Nadu. And Rajaraja Chola allowed the Sailendra king, his name is little long, Mara Vijaya Tunga Varman. Okay, so please take care of the spelling. And to build a Buddhist monastery at Nagapattinam. And his son Rajendra conquered the Sailendra kingdom of some for some times, and later they became independent, and the Sailendra empire continued intact till the 11th century AD. Okay, and the Hindu kingdom was established in Java as early as the 4th century AD. So here is one picture. This is a monument of, it's called Borobunder. Okay, in central Java arose the kingdom of Mataram, it's Mataram, which became a strong center of Hindu religion and culture, and it was conquered by the Sailendras of Sumatra. Till the 9th century, Java continued to be part of Sailendra Empire. Later, it regained its independence. Java attained greatness and splendor in art under Sailendra ruler. So, the greatest monument of Indo-Java art is Borobunder, which was built during AD 750 to 850 under the patronage of Sailendras. It is situated on the top of a hill. It contains of 9 successive terraces crowned by a bell-shaped stupa at the center of the topmost terrace. So please refer this. So this is the top of this monument, and it's a bell shaped stupa, and the open galleries in the terrace contain 2000 bas relief, that is small curved stone figures illustrating various incidents in the life of the Buddha. The lower part are rich in decoration, while the upper portions are plain and adorned, and Borobandar is described as an epic in stone, the most wonderful Buddhist stupa in the world. And in the 12th century, Eastern Java with the Kadiri as its capital developed into the leading kingdom of Java. In the 13th and 14th century, which marked the golden age of Javanese culture, Majapahit became the capital of the far-flung Japanese empire, which included the neighboring islands, and Indian art and literature flourished in Java to an extent unknown elsewhere. Still, ruins of hundreds of temples and manuscripts based on the Sanskrit language are found in Java. The Ramayana and the Mahabharata were popular and even today furnish the name for their popular shadow play. And the fall of Majapahit brought to an end all artistic activity in Java. Next is Bali. Bali also a tourist destination now. Bali came under the rule of Hindu dynasties as early as the 6th century. I think refers to the prevalence of Buddhism there in the 7th century. The stone and copper plate inscription from that island show that it was colonized directly from India. Later, it became subordinate to Java, and its people continue to be Hindus, and even today we find the prevalence of the caste system there. And next is Myanmar. The culture contact between India and Burma, before it's called Burma, now it's Myanmar, dates back to the period of Ashoka, who sent his missionaries there to preach Buddhism. And many Hindu kingdoms existed in Burma. Pali and Sanskrit were the languages of Burma till 13th century. Both Hinayana and Mahayana Buddhism were followed by the Burmese. Thus, for nearly 1500 years, Hindu kings were ruling over numerous islands of the Malaya archipelago and over the Indo-China peninsula. And Indian religion and Indian culture molded the lives of the primitive inhabitants of these regions, who were elevated to a higher plan of civilization. Okay, so this is the map of Myanmar or Burma. So far we discussed from this chapters are India's influence over Central Asia, cultural contact between India and China, India and Sri Lanka through the ages, and spread of Indian culture in countries of Southeast Asia such as Indochina, Malaya Archipelago, and Myanmar, Hindu temples in Southeast Asia and their architecture, like that we discussed. So today we end here with this content. In between any doubts, you can contact us anytime. And for more content, do like, share, and subscribe our channel. Thank you so much.